Welcome to Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. My name is Mompoloki Lerumo Mogobe. Our objective is to enthuse, inspire, energize, and empower entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs of all stripes here in BW and beyond. We do so by inviting these entrepreneurs into our makeshift studio. Sometimes we call them to the restaurant, sometimes we go to our studio, and we ask them to share their experiential knowledge, their experiences and their expertise, and we ask them as many questions as we can, aimed at empowering you also as a viewer. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Mogobe Nuggets of Wisdom podcast. Always a privilege and an honor to bring in life-changing information from our local business people. We want to improve the ecosystem. We want to make it more exciting. We want to benefit you as a viewer, as a Botswana, and as an international player in the business area. And before I introduce my guest, can I just ask you to strike the subscribe button, please, and also the notification bell. And my guest and I are going to talk about the business of manufacturing here in Botswana and even internationally, I guess. And my guest is Cornelius. But Cornelius, I prefer that you introduce yourself in full. Just share a little bit about your condensed CV with our viewers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. My name is Cornelius Mankge from Expense Furniture Botswana. I've worked, I think, in corporate for over 10 years, since 2011 until 2022, when I went full-on entrepreneurial. Yeah.
Where in corporate were you working?
I've hopped around. The last company I was with was on a life. Before that, I was with Avgri Equipment Botswana, John Deere dealers. And then I've been with Executive Couch Design, Mass International Accounting. So I've bounced around a bit.
Yeah. What about the academic side? What have you done?
Academically, I hold a BA in Business and Management from the University of Nottingham. Graduated in 2011. Currently working on my MBA. Yes.
Okay. Aiming to have a doctorate?
Hopefully. It would be nice to be called Dr. Mankge.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a thing about academics that sometimes they weigh you down if there's too much of it. But it's just me, and maybe I'm biased.
Yeah, I think maybe with this culture around Botswana, parents are always going to be pushing you, like, you need to get more. Plus, it's always a good fallback plan. Like if you want to stay in touch with the latest advances, it's always advisable to keep.
Or maybe you want to choose to teach instead.
I don't think I'm much of a teacher. I think I prefer to do stuff.
Okay.
I'm more of a hands-on person.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you develop interest in manufacturing of furniture? How did it start?
I think my interest in manufacturing in general goes back to my upbringing. My parents were entrepreneurs. Yes, my father was in construction. My mom is still a tailor. So I grew up doing bits of this and that, helping out when they come and help me iron a few clothes that side until I learned how to actually do the stitching myself. And then with my dad, I always did his this part-time stuff with his construction. And then by trade, he's a carpenter. So I got to learn more about woodwork. Then junior school to senior school, I was doing design and technology. So that's when I started liking this whole thing of working with my hands.
During our time, it was called technical drawing.
Yeah,
so this one, design and technology.
Yes, design and technology. Technical drawing is part of the subjects within design and technology.
All right.
Yes.
Now, why did you quit corporate? And you told me that it was around COVID. What caused you to say no? It's time to now start my own thing.
I wrote my first business plan when I was in varsity. But my dream has always been to go entrepreneurial. Or if we maybe go back a bit, the whole reason why I even went the business route is, I grew up with entrepreneurial parents, and it was such a shame to see a lot of companies in Botswana failing to grow beyond just general dilanyana ya hakuning. So I did business. Initially it was supposed to be finance, but I did business to try and work out a way that I can help small businesses grow beyond just being business business
Lerumo. Yeah, it's just from beyond Semausu.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I bounced up around corporate because I felt I needed to learn how to run corporations. I need to learn how to work with millions before I can start working with my hundreds. So I went through corporate.
I like that.
Yeah, bounced around a bit to learn how.
And what were the various job positions that you held?
I was a general manager at a furniture manufacturing company for a very short time. I think a couple of months, if not 3 months. And then I was an operations manager. I was an accounts officer. I've been a finance manager. I've been a branch manager and operations supervisor. So I really got like the full spectrum of how businesses work from the admin side.
I think the thing I'm interested in knowing is how it all started. Perhaps you can share your first piece of furniture that you manufactured.
Oh, that's a difficult one. The first piece of furniture I manufactured, I think it was some lady called Tawana. Tawana in Gaborone.
Yes.
She saw me, I think, sharing a few pictures. Then she asked, do you guys manufacture these things? We're like, yeah, we do them. And then she's like, can I get maybe an ottoman? Maybe just to test out the waters. I think that's what got everything started, because after that we got a very huge order Kanye, and it was all wheels from there. Yeah.
So can you describe the type of furniture?
We are doing mainly household furniture. This is your couches, your sleigh beds, and then we also do fittings, like your kitchens and your closets, and then we also consult on interior designs.
Okay.
Yes.
The things that you're looking at, this table, this chair, are the sort of things you do?
Yes.
Every day of the week?
Every day of the week.
So I come to you with specs of what I want, and then you just go ahead and design?
Yeah, because when we started this whole thing, Botswana a bit skeptical on online purchase or on custom stuff. So we ended up getting a few of trust issues. So we redeveloped a way where we could try and trust their back. So we had a money back guarantee.
Okay.
If you give me a picture and the product doesn't turn out like the picture you gave me, we will give you back your deposit in full.
That's how far you went?
That's how far we went.
Yeah.
Yes.
And have you had to give back any money?
I think the problem again with this custom thing is beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Yeah, and there's nothing as difficult as a customer who has an idea of what the thing is supposed to look like or how it's supposed to be made. Yes, so we've had clashes here and there because they feel like, no, this is not supposed to look like this, it's supposed to look like that. Yes, or sometimes we would have issues where we are limited by the machinery on what we have, but we try and be upfront when we start the whole deal that no, this one is going to limit us in terms of the machinery that we have, or unless we have to consult or include a third party to help us with the difficult like wood formings and everything. Yeah.
Now let me ask you about the generally the type of furniture that you design. Is it office furniture largely, or is home furniture?
Largely it's been home furniture. We do a bit of office furniture here and there, but we haven't really moved into that space as much as we would love to. We've been mainly on household furniture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about the journey, because I'm sure the early days it must have been tough, because you said you started during COVID. How did you manage to break through?
It was tough. It's still tough. I mean, we are still getting a bit of effects of COVID here and there. People are still getting retrenched even to this date. So I think what we did was, or what we usually do is, we always tell people that we can only be limited by our imagination, and we need to try and adapt to survive. So during the times of COVID, we sat with the team, and then we were like, okay, how best can we get somebody that trying to save up for a rainy day, or should anything bad happen, how can we assist those people? So we came up with a plan, furniture on credit.
Furniture
on credit, custom furniture on credit. It's not something that is done a lot.
Not normally,
because to be honest, Botswana badingalo when it comes to credit, especially for a small company, because we can't afford the legalities most of the time to follow up on debts. So we did sit down and say, okay, how many people are going to be able to afford 15,000 ideal cash? Why not work out a plan where they can pay like 50% deposit, and then the balance can be paid off in months.
Not upon collection.
Not upon collection. You pay your deposit, collect your couch, then while you are using it, you start paying monthly.
Okay. So it's similar to the big furniture companies.
Basically, yes. We wanted to move into that space. They already captured the large majority of the market because they offer that option.
Yeah.
So when you want something custom, but you're on a budget, you'd rather settle for like, okay, no, it's black. I wanted gray, but okay, it's black. I'll make do with what's available.
What kind of machinery is required, and is it easy to source?
It is to some extent. The smaller machineries, your compressors and your pneumatic tools, they are around.
I don't know what pneumatic means.
Pneumatic tools are like pressure powered staple guns. Yes, so you can find those easily. You can find your circular saws and all your woodwork and metalwork machineries. Then there are like big machineries that you need to get like from China or India. Yes, those are the expensive ones to purchase and to transport. Some of them even need people by the installer, and it's another cost, because when somebody comes from China to install, you pay for that ticket, you pay for the accommodation, and there's a fee that you pay on a daily basis while they're here working on that machinery. Yes.
And how do you overcome that? Do you get somebody to shadow them while they're here so that person can pick all the skill?
Currently what we are doing is we opted not to go for the big machinery. If it's something that huge, we have firms that we work with that can assist us with the work of the huge machineries. Like we'd have a company in South Africa that bends and shapes wood a certain way, so you can just simply ask them, can you get me wood in this shape? And then it's easier to shape a small chair than to shape the entire machinery. Well, you're going to use only once in a year. So for overhead's sake, we prefer to keep the small machinery and outsource most of the heavy load until we get to where we feel like, no, having this kind of machinery won't kill us.
Okay.
Yes.
Some companies prefer to do pre-packaged stuff and then just sort of assemble it, sort of like an IKEA situation.
Yes.
Are you in that space?
It's something we've looked into, especially when we looked into listing Alibaba. Yeah, because of shipping and everything, it was extremely expensive to transport Kauchele one to the US or to China. So we looked into that. It's something that we are working on. Let me just say that it's something that we are working on. We need it to be easy to dismantle and easy to put together, while still retaining the strength. A Kauchele is put together from the workshop.
Okay. What about the licensing part? What's involved in getting manufacturing licenses, etc.?
So you just need a warehouse. You need a warehouse. Then you just consult GCC, like GCC, like this is what I'm trying to have a manufacturing plant here, and then they come and do the inspections. And then if you have retailing, you need to get license.
Is it a rigorous process?
No. Yes, if you're doing it yourself. If you have an agent, when you have somebody running it for you, you don't just get
like
to
a
experience.
consultant.
Yes, you don't get to experience the hardships of the process.
So, what was the toughest part about getting started?
Actually, getting started.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The just deciding, you know what, today is the day. Yeah, today is the day I'm gonna put up a picture. I'm gonna put up a sample, and take whatever is left in my account, put it towards a dream. Yes, because I think we live in a country where we promote employment more than entrepreneurship. Even my entrepreneurial parents would promote me being in an office wearing a tie, doing an 8 to 5. We think entrepreneurship carries a lot of risk, which it does, but the rewards are also worthwhile. Yeah.
So, what do you remember about those initial stages?
The initial stages, I was still in my backyard. So
At home?
At home, yes. In my backyard. I remember I was doing an 8 to 5 goals in my life, and I started this.
So it was part-time initially?
It was part-time
initially. It started as a side gig?
Yes. So I was doing an 8 to 5. Then I had a guy I worked with after hours. I remember there was one time we had a delivery in Eyahanzi. So there was a truck leaving the next day to Hanzi, and this is free transportation. The customer is like, if you get it on that truck, it's free transportation, but otherwise you have to meet me halfway, because that was the initial agreement. We had to do an L-shaped couch and a headboard overnight. I think we got home around 6 p.m. when we started the project.
What was so urgent? Because of transport? Yeah.
Transportation. Transportation is very bad. It's almost as bad as rental.
Yeah.
But transportation is the biggest cost in our industry, because like when you are still small, you have motoko I need a chair. You can't say no to a sale, so you need to work out a way it could work for you. If I have a friend over I'm like, when are you coming this side? Maybe you can when you come back.
Yeah,
it cuts down on the
transportation cost.
Yeah. So in that case, we spend the nights trying to get everything done so that by morning, and we need to stand behind what we are selling. They're like, okay, no, we're gonna give you warranties. We're gonna make sure that everything is like perfect. And it's your expense or also attend that query. Yeah.
Long-term sustainability of the furniture business in Botswana. What do you want to say about that?
I think the furniture industry in Botswana is growing. Almost in every corner there is some guy who did run furniture, or some guy who says, I can repair your couch. It is growing, and the quality is really improved. And I think sustainability wise, we do need some backing here and there as Botswana manufacturers, in the sense as much as agriculture maybe a certain portion of furniture should be got in Botswana from like local manufacturers. Yes, obviously meeting the standards the retailers. Yeah, but sustainability wise, I feel like we are getting there, and it should be something to contest the market.
Are the raw materials available locally?
Credit to our suppliers, they're really trying. I remember when I started, you could barely get, let's say, a bright color. You would get like gray, black. When you want blue, emerald green, or bottle green, you had to order from South Africa. But these days, you can get most of the things locally. And otherwise, we do South Africa. South Africa has been good in the sense that it's an overnight courier.
Okay. And when it comes to things like wood and so on, you source locally?
All wood we get locally. Yes.
Which is what, mukwa and...
we use For framing, usually chipboards and pair lines and brander rings, rafters, the type that you use for the roof. Yeah, we take that, we built our structures with that and a chipboard. Other than that, we use MDF, medium density fiber. We use SA pine, and then we have Bomeranti and mahogany sometimes. But it's one of those expensive woods that you barely use. It will be
so you don't actually use our raw trees here to manufacture from?
I have been tempted to try and make a dining set table with a morula tree. The problem is the processing of wood. There are not people who process wood in the country.
What does it take?
You would need the kilns to dry the wood, those giant saws to slice through the wood, and but otherwise it's something that can be done. It's just that it's going to be an expense on its own to set up. And then there's going to be the whole licensing behind wood chopping and everything. Yes.
We read a lot about the importance of manufacturing, and the government makes it part of its policy and its economic drive year after year. Can you help the viewer understand how manufacturing contributes to the economy, and you particularly and your colleagues in the furniture manufacturing industry, how you contribute into the economy?
I think firstly, as an SME, like big economies are built on SMEs. There is job creation, there is the diversity, like when you have a small company. Right now we are employing around 6 people. Yes. When we have those people, and then there's another setup next to me who has like 6 people, that's adding up to the whole unemployment rates. We are trying to reduce that. And then it also adds diversity to the economy. Like for us in particular, who are in the custom space, it's not a really developed market per se. Botswana, people go to these corporates that are already made up stuff. So re add that diversity to the economy. Yes.
All right. And the kind of people that we employ, is it mostly carpenters?
Upholsterers. Yes. It's upholstery includes carpentry. It includes sewing. It includes covering. So usually it's like the whole spectrum. And then we also have a sales team.
Yes. And you train your own people?
Yes. We had one guy who also helped with my training when I was starting up, and then he's also the one who's heading our production right now. So he's training everybody who comes in. I do the training on the admin side. Yes.
Now, if somebody just wants to, as it were, pimp their furniture to upgrade it, do you also do that?
Yes, like I said, we are only limited by our imagination. Yes, we've had many people come out. Okay, now I have a 3-seater. Can you make it into an L shape? Yes, we do that for you. There are people who are okay, now I have this old design. I want to turn into a Chesterfield. We can do that also. And then there are people who just want to maintain the look, just to refresh it. Yeah, we have a saying, go workshop, it needs to be as good as the first day you bought it. Yes.
Okay, manufacturing as a service. You did mention earlier that those who you give a money back guarantee.
Yes.
How does that work? Issues around sourcing materials, managing quality, and so on.
I think the biggest issue is it's always cost that comes back to us. Unfortunately, it's the cost of doing business, especially in the custom space. So if you place an order and then it comes out is what you wanted, we have to dig into our pockets and make sure that you get your refund. Yes, so that maybe you can try somebody else, or if you want, you can also change your design. Okay, fine, let's try this design. because we've had people that are okay, I want an L shape, and then because you are a month and rush, you haven't really went through the checklists. With Laura, you made the L shape or a bullet to the other side, and then it blocks that door. So now you have to go redo the entire thing, make sure that it opens to the right side. So all those costs come back to us. You are hoping that somebody might come and walk into your showroom and then like it and take it.
You're mostly B2C as opposed to B2B, or you're both?
We are both. It's very difficult to break into the B2B market.
Perhaps you can explain to the viewer what that means.
Okay, B2B is business to business. So business to business usually would entail maybe us manufacturing for a certain corporate as our distributor, or we can do like revamps and new furniture for an office development. And then B2C is business to customer, which is, I think, 90% of our business right now. So we this is where we manufacture directly to the end user. Yes. So it has been a bit difficult to break in, mainly because most of our potential distributors locally are based in South Africa. So for you to get a buyer locally is very difficult. It's a very rigorous process, and it takes time just to get a meeting. Yes, before you start the whole process of meeting all their needs, just to get a meeting, it takes some time. Yes, so we ended up resorting to B2C while we are working on the B2B part. Yes.
What about B2G, government?
Government doesn't necessarily have a lot to do in the furniture space. I mean, then like
they use furniture.
They do use furniture, but the problem is when they need to repair, they take it to prisons. Yes, so it's eliminating in a way. They do buy here and there, but it's not the bulk of their budget. If you get into a government office right now and look at their furniture, you can see that furniture is not really top of the priority list.
Some offices don't really care about how about aesthetics.
Yes.
Okay. Now, would you in a setting like this be requiring the service of an interior designer at that stage when you design, or you do your own design of the furniture?
Basically we do everything ourselves. The design, the whole manufacturing process, it's all internal. Unless we need to outsource one or two things, like when you need to maybe laser cut something, or when you need to bend some wood.
Do you have any of the furniture that is uniquely you, that is only specific to your company, that perhaps requires copyright protection or something like that?
No, not yet. We don't have a lazy boy kind of invention yet. But we are always looking for ways that we can patent some designs. I think even the person who came up with a lazy boy, they were solving a unique problem at the time. So I think I agree with this whole entrepreneurship is always me solving problems around me that get me to help other people in the industry. Yes.
Do you not participate also in trade shows and activities like that to expose the brand a bit more?
We do that a lot, especially this year. Initially we wanted to do that go Mozambique last year, but we missed out on that because there was a bit of delay communicating to BITC. BITC has been very helpful in getting us out there. Just last month, in June, 2 months ago, we were go South Africa in Midrand at the SATEX fair. It helped us realize what there's a lot that we can do, especially as small businesses in Botswana. And then now we've been really working with BITC a lot to try and get more of our products to the world. And hopefully we'll make it to Cairo in November.
What's happening in Cairo?
There's the Africa Trade Fair. Yes.
And the local ones you participated in, which are they?
Local ones, we are to participate in the one near the fields. mid-month, I think next week on the 15th or so, somewhere
What's
around
it
there.
called?
It's just an open market day. Yeah, they just do an open day, and I think it's the annual thing, that birthday a kind of celebration. So they invited manufacturers and distributors to come through and display their products for 2 days. We always do the Pakalani always has a pop-up market every month, and so we go to that. We also will be doing our first Botswana International Trade Fair this year. Yeah, so we've been trying to invest a lot on the trade fairs.
Okay. Would you say that there's any misconception about furniture manufacturing? And if so, what is it that people misunderstand about it?
I think the first one would be furniture is expensive to manufacture and eventually to buy. So people, I think, downplay the whole price furniture, especially custom stuff. Kind of with custom stuff, it's uniquely for you. Like I need to go buy this specific wood for you. I need to go buy this specific fabric for you. Unlike when it's bulk production, yes. So people downplay the price part of furniture. They will like, how will we say no? This is 16,000. Like 16? Why not 5? Yet when you're at that point, your cost teller is at 9 before you even talk about the rent there, your staff and everything. Yeah. So and then another thing would be quality. Yes. We tend to overlook quality and assume for a price means quality. We don't necessarily know where to look.
People confuse value and price.
Yes. Yeah, they assume that just because you bought a couch for 10,000, it means it's good quality. And then you bring it to me. When I open it up, I'll tell you, this thing needs to be reframed. And then you feel like, no, you guys are being dodgy or something. So people need to really understand the quality that goes into to furniture manufacturing, the expense, especially that most of our suppliers are basically distributors, they're not manufacturers. So they need to buy from somebody who has already put a markup, and they need to put a markup on, and we need to put a markup on. So it's like a whole chain of markups before it gets to you. Yes. And
the target market for you is largely what?
Our target market is mainly middle class to upper middle class. The whole concept behind starting this company is affordability, but with quality. It doesn't need to be too expensive to display quality. Yes. So when we started this company, we were like, okay, and I as a person, I need a certain thing. I need my space to reflect who I am. But if you go to a certain company, that is going to cost you maybe 50,000 just to get the couch you want. Yes. Why can't we find something or find a way that we can use this skill that we have, or learn this new skill of furniture manufacturing to cater to people like me?
Are there any particular products or designs that you are exceptionally proud of, or shall I say best sellers, or even ones that you really feel are very close to your heart?
I feel like we since the beginning we have been really good on Chesterfield designs.
What's that?
The diamond designs. It's one of the most the oldest crafts.
Diamond shaped couch or what?
No, not a diamond shaped couch. A diamond shaped pattern on the back of the couch. You know where there's folds around the back. Yes. Those are called Chesterfields. It's one of the oldest crafts in upholstery. So I think that's one that we really boast about. Yes, and then the other thing that we've been really good with is recliner chairs. Yes, we've been
the lazy boys.
Yeah, those lazy boys. Yeah. So I think it has limitations, or our competitors are not really keen on doing it because it takes forever to make. It's very expensive to repair, and it's very difficult to find the parts. So this is something that we've really worked on, and it's been very, very, very good for us. And
and the market is responding well.
Yes, the market is responding well. We've never made a recliner set that had to be turned back because of quality. Yes, we we have like delivered mostly in time. Yeah, here and there where there is like challenges, it's logistics and everything. You can find that halfway you got a material and then the material thing was short.
Yeah.
And then you have to go replace go and add on to it, and then it's not there with the suppliers.
Yeah, earlier I mentioned IKEA. They're famous for giving you packages which you just put together like that. Is it something that that has potential here?
I feel so. I feel IKEA has been really big with like low cost furniture. The whole idea of just snapping things into place and cutting down on a lot of expenses is really worked for them. I think it's something that can really work in our market, especially like the college students and like people who are just moving into the workspace. Yes.
And are you cultivating that market?
Yes, we've had a couple of meetings with my sales guy about looking into that market, because he's still fairly young too. He just got out of school, so that's around the people who he's been in contact with most.
Yeah.
So he feels like, okay, if we went into this industry, we could really help out a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
And are there a number of furniture manufacturing firms or businesses here in Botswana, or are you one of a rare breed?
Like I said, the industry is growing. There's a lot of people who are moving into the space right now. Yes, we are facing a lot of competition. Yes, and
locals or foreign entities setting up here?
I think it's been mainly locals, starting from an SME point of view. Like I've personally had people who are trained, who are personally doing their own thing now. Who are owning companies Zabone.
Oh.
Yes. So it is growing.
Just in the 3 years we've been in operation, people have left already.
People have left, yes,
to start their
own companies. Yes.
I thought this thing is capital intensive.
It is, but it can also be it can also self-sponsor. It can also self-fund in that.
So the barriers of entry are not that high.
They're not that high. You just need to have the right quality. Yes, if you have the right quality, entering is not a difficult thing. If you are able to sell, if you are able to produce, because with custom manufacturing, most people, what they do is you pay a deposit to get your thing done. So most of the guys who start will be like, okay, go buy the material, then pay me the labor.
Yeah.
And then that's how they get started.
So if we had to do a SWOT analysis in terms of opportunities and threats, the threats would be what? Rental and breaking into this, into the higher level market.
I think that's one of the biggest threats. The overheads. If you are not going to be doing it in your backyard, if you're going to try and be professional about it, the overheads are very high, because rental in Gaborone, we are talking about 15 to 20,000 for space. If you go retail, in any mall, you are looking at around another 20,000 for like 100 square meters. Yes, so it's the barriers of entry would be high when it comes to going professional, not to starting. Yes, and then when it comes to issues of growth, I think the issue would be, we don't get a lot of bites from international companies. Yes, just to try and come see my quality. Yes,
give me a chance.
Yes,
that's
just give me a shot.
Asking.
Yes,
give me a shot.
Yes, just come see my quality and see if it's what you want. So we don't get that a lot.
But shouldn't you be approaching them? Maybe they don't know of your existence.
No. I mean, even if you have the contact, to try and get somebody who is responsible for purchasing, who's based in South Africa, to come to your warehouse in Botswana, it's a problem. Yes,
it's a challenge.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we are being told about Africa Continental Trade Agreement,
Yes.
which is supposed to make it easy for you as manufacturers to approach other markets and to to sell to those markets across the continent.
Yes.
Are you doing anything in that space?
We have been in touch with a few people.
Mm.
We have been in touch with people in Zambia. We have been in touch with people in South Africa. South Africa, that we've been benefiting through SACU. So with Zambia, that will help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are trying to push the distributors outside the country. So if we have things like free trade agreements, they can help us get the products out there more.
Mm.
And then I've always had this dream of going to the Morocco market, going to the Ghana markets, because I love their fabrics.
Mm.
And I would love to one day have a product, expands made out of fabric yellow, it's made
And
more
I think
Africa.
AFTA can facilitate that.
Yes, that's
Through
one of the benefits
the
that
Ministry of Trade.
Yes,
Mm.
that's the benefits that we are looking forward to
Mm.
as with the free trade, and hopefully with this
And maybe BITC can facilitate.
yes,
Mm.
and hopefully with us going to this Africa show trade fair,
Mhm.
we would meet with the right people to help us get the quality, or
Yeah.
get to inspect the quality firsthand to
Mm.
see what we can work with to have a traditional African covered couch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds exciting. That sounds exciting because, of course, Botswana ratified the agreement at the beginning of this year
Yes.
and making it possible for those
Yes.
opportunities to be explored. So how does SACU assist? You said SACU is assisting?
SACU is more like a free trade area for SADC.
Mm.
So right now we are not supposed to be paying VAT in South Africa because we are paying VAT here.
Mhm.
So it helps in the sense of cutting double paying of VAT in both countries.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay. We've recently, it's been a year now that we've had the Ministry of Entrepreneurship here in Botswana. Is there a way in which they're assisting you as entrepreneurs in this space?
Yeah, I think through BITC,
Mm.
they have been very helpful.
How so?
With my relationship with BITC, I've really benefited a lot in the sense that I can literally walk into the office today and say, okay, I want to open a shop go Zimbabwe. Can you help me with the information?
Mm.
And they'll give me a breakdown of my entire industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And if there's a trade fair, like I was saying, we wanted to go to Mozambique last year, but we missed out because we communicated to so late.
Mm.
Yeah, they help us. They transport our stuff. They buy stalls for us. We only transport ourselves and our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so it has been really helpful,
Mm-hmm.
or rather, with my experience,
Okay.
I feel like I've really benefited a lot.
Do you then have to have a brand Botswana tick or registration approval?
No, they never asked for that from me.
Mm-hmm.
They do have the brand Botswana logos all around the stores they purchase.
Mm.
Yes, but otherwise,
Why don't you register for that?
I think since I have moved 100% into entrepreneurship is stuff that we're going to be looking into.
Yeah.
To try and certify our products, make sure that we get backed by the government fully.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every entrepreneur that I interview talks about hardship, setback, perseverance. What is your story in that regard? What were your setbacks? What were your challenges?
One is credit.
Mm-hmm.
Botswana are good at applying for credit. We're
They're
very
not
bad
good.
at maintaining credit.
Mm.
Yes. So I can't even imagine how many times I've thought, you know what, I need to stop this.
To stop what?
To stop the whole entrepreneurship process. Maybe I went into it too early because
Why?
of the challenges that come with entrepreneurship.
Mm.
I think a friend of mine once showed me a clip in this other movie where they were talking about kids,
Mm.
and then he said entrepreneurship is like raising a kid. It's one horrible moment, and then one moment that makes you forget all those horrible moments, and then the cycle begins again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been the experience, and it is very fruitful. It is very nice. It is challenging. I mean, with corporate, I've the moments where I woke up and I was like, shh, But with entrepreneurship, I wake up every morning like excited about the new challenge. Yes. So I think the biggest challenge has been the cash flow management, especially on the credit side. When you get people credit and then when it's time for them to follow through with the agreement, now it becomes a problem. Yes.
And how do you overcome that?
We've tried to limit initially we had the credit at 12 months. The balance could be paid off in 12 months.
That is too long. The
Yeah,
whole year?
The whole year. So we've worked it down to now 3 months, because with 3 months, at least if they made 1 or 2 payments, we have at least broken even or made a bit of profit before we start following that one last payment or the last 2 payments.
Okay.
Yes.
We touched on COVID, but I just want to wrap up on it, that it's been a plus and a minus for different entities.
Yes.
Some have had positives and negatives. What about yourselves?
I think there was a time when somebody wrote, the good thing about COVID is going to bring about a lot of industrialists in this country. I personally feel like COVID brought me to this level. It brought me to just suck it up and say, you know what, I'm going to start this. Yes. And then
seeing yourself at home doing nothing for 2 months. Was that it?
No. It was more of because when I started, it was like just before COVID when we started this thing as a part-time business.
2019. Because COVID hit around April.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of lockdowns.
Yes.
April 2020.
April 2020. Yes. So it was around that time when we started. So when it hit, there was a bit of panic, but then we sat down and tried to diversify. How can we work through this whole thing and then still come out with our heads held high. Tongue twister. But so after that, after we figured out a way that could work for us, then we slowly worked into it. And then last year, when I left Botswana Life, that's when I was like, you know what, let me give this.
Oh, you spent the first 2 years with corporate and working at the same time.
And working at the same time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you didn't just jump off the cliff. It was gradual.
Yes, it was gradual. So, yeah, after that, we figured, you know what, this is possible. If we went through the worst of COVID, then we can go through any period. Yes.
That's interesting. So it's been a plus in the end.
Yeah, plus. I think with furniture, the good part about it was during COVID, people were stuck at home. So you get to really feel how uncomfortable your chair is.
Yeah.
So that's when we started getting a lot of calls like, can you come fix my chair? Can you do this for me? And that's when we sort of like settled well into the industry.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you leveraging social media to market your furniture or to optimize your position in the market?
Social media has been like the core of our marketing. We have really invested a lot in social media.
In what sense?
In that we sponsor our ads. Almost every week we have a sponsored ad. We put everything that we work on our social media pages. Is one of the well-maintained parts, to a point where we sat and said, you know what, let's hold on the website design first. Because this is working for us. Yes.
I've heard someone say that a company has more respect if it has a website, and I don't know if that is true.
It does. You know, people take you more seriously when you are in a warehouse than when you are working in your backyard. People take you more seriously when you have a website than when you are just on Facebook.
I thought social media has made it easy that everybody can be seen now.
The good part about it is it's easier to maintain. It has a larger pool, and it's accessible to almost everyone.
Yeah.
Yes, because the issue with websites is how many people log into websites these days. But social media, I can pop up in your feed at any point. Yes.
It has an advantage there.
Yes.
And then, speaking of social media, are you active in all the platforms?
Yes, we are active on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you actually not share the manufacturing process itself, or parts of it?
We show parts of it, not all of it. For like, we have to maintain a little bit of trade secret aspect. Like there are things that are done a steam way, but we have worked out a way it could help us or give us a competitive advantage.
Yeah.
So such things we try and hide and not show. But if it's something that it's straightforward, it's how everybody does it. We are glad to show it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is it your sense that the manufacturing industry in general is taking off in Botswana now, or are we still sort of in a stalemate where we are just consumers?
I feel like we are growing. I feel like we have noticed that there is a lot of market.
But is it taking off?
It is.
When are we going to have a rocket moment where it just goes up?
No, I don't think we are there yet, but we are on the way there. In the sense that, we have been looking at ourselves as a population of 2.4 million. But if you look at countries like China, it's not like everything China produces they consume.
No.
They work on export.
Most of it.
Most of it is going out. Yes. So I think we have seen that also, that it's a 7 billion people market, unlike the 2.4 that we have. Yes. So we need to find ways to.
What do you mean the world? Yeah.
Yes, the world. The world is like a few clicks away these days.
Yeah.
Yes. So like I was mentioning earlier, we've looked into listing with Alibaba. We've looked into listing with what do you call this guy? The American platform. Amazon. Yes. It's a bit of a challenge with Amazon. More challenging with Alibaba. Yeah, but we have looked into
what's the advantage of listing with those guys?
They already have the market. People already trust what they do. And they already have pre-approvals in place. Like I can get listed on Alibaba and get accredited by Alibaba to get more trust with the international world. Yes.
Okay. Customized products. Tell me a little bit about that. What sort of, is it any product that you can make?
It is any product, but limited to our machinery. Yes. Like I was saying earlier, you bring a picture and say, I want this. Can you make this for me? And then we'll say, okay, this is possible. And then we'll give you a code on getting that exact thing on your picture. Somebody will say, I want this couch, but I want it in blue. Yes. So you okay, here's the shades of blue that we have. Which one would you prefer? And this is the quotation. Yes. And in cases where it's something that it's not doable, we'll tell you, no, our suppliers don't have this, or it might be a challenge getting 1, 2, or 3.
Yes.
So then the customers will say, okay, no, we can eliminate this, or we can do it this way, or we can just sit around the table and figure out a way, we can get you what you want, exactly the way you want it.
What about leather products?
Yeah, we do also do leather. You mean genuine leather, cowhide? Yeah. Yes, we've worked with.
How does that work? You source it from where?
We source it from South Africa. Locally, it's expensive. Ironically, yeah, it's very expensive to buy cow leather here. I'm guessing it's because we don't have a processing business or a well-established processing plant. But we get it from South Africa, or we get it through one of our suppliers, and we have cowhide, and then there's buffalo hide. Yeah, buffalo hide is more synthetic than cowhide, but it is almost the same quality.
I've never heard of a synthetic buffalo.
Yeah,
how do you mean?
I think the way it's made is just like with wood. Like these are made of chipboards, laminated. Chipboard is just the fibers of the wood crushed and then put together through glue, and then it becomes a sheet of wood. So I think with the buffalo hide, the synthetic buffalo hide, is they crush it up and then they make it into a roll. Unlike with cowhide, you just buy the actual shape of the cow. Yeah, and that is sold in square meters.
So you do leather products. Do you get to the point of doing them for cars and vehicles and things like that?
Yes, we do also do car interiors. We were at one point negotiating with a car repair company to do their interiors when cars come through to get panel beaten and everything. Yes, but that fell through.
Yeah, couldn't agree.
Yeah, we couldn't agree on the terms because when you're a third party to a deal, it's very difficult to bring in your full price.
Yeah.
Because you always have to leave some for the other party to still benefit from your service. Yes.
So, what else do you want to share with us about the manufacturing business, sir? Any message of significance you want to share with us?
I would say to Botswana out there, like, it is possible. It can be done. It is being done. It's not just us. There are a lot of companies that are manufacturing. We saw during the COVID era that people were doing those surgical masks and the PPEs. We've seen a lot of companies booming in the recent years in manufacturing, and I feel like there's a lot that this country can do. There's a lot that we still import that needs to be done in this country. So it is possible in that the money is there. Botswana would pay for almost anything that they feel is worth that money. So get out there and do what you feel you like. Enjoying what you do is very important.
What I'm curious about is because of our huge unemployment situation, how we can get Botswana off their couches and expose them to manufacturing, even if it means having some kind of mentorships or artisanships arrangements. No, I mean, what do you call it? Yeah, it's training arrangements. Yes. Is it something that you are looking at as an industry?
As an industry, I feel like we can do a lot in that sense. We need to really invest in training our people and making sure that the quality that comes out of this country is on par with others from our international competitors. So we've had cases where we felt we need to bring our staff fresh from school. The bad part about our industry is we don't have formal training. The best
just theory.
Yeah,
at school.
No, just at school.
Yeah.
The best you can get right now is people who did dressmaking and who did carpentry. But there's no one school that does upholstery as a course. Or at least I haven't heard of one. Yeah. So we
even from the brigades, there's nothing.
No, they are just doing dressmaking and carpentry.
What happened to education for production?
So yeah, I think in that sense, there is a lot that we can do with regards to the education system being linked to what we need,
what the industry needs.
Yes, and there is also a lot that can be done in just individual companies training people. Yes, I think we also need a mentality change. We need to
the so-called reset agenda.
Yes, we need to really lose this mentality of I need to be employed to be respectable. Yeah, the same company that's employing you was somebody's dream at one point. Yeah, so if you have a dream, try by all means to chase that dream. I think we also need corporates to try and reinvest. Yes, I know it's risky to invest in small companies, but just take a big company having a reinvestment strategy or buying shares in small companies as part of the mentorship program to boost them up. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Now let's talk about the future. Say, what does your crystal ball tell you when you look 20 years, 10 years down the line? I want you to talk from the point of view of the company and then from the point of view of your own brand.
Okay, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm one person who has crazy dreams. Yeah, I'm one of those people who believe that if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming hard enough. So, 20 years from now, let's just take it 2 years from now. I am looking to have at least a network of branches in the country, because we are having a lot of demands. Kobo, Francistown, Maung, Kasani, people are inquiring, so it becomes expensive to try and serve them from here. So we are trying to get a network of branches, nothing big, just small branches, to make sure that we reach out to all people that we need to reach out to. And then 20 years from now, I'm hoping this brand will be a multi-billion dollar corporation.
Wow.
I'm hoping
like
we'll
that.
be employing a lot of people. Yes. Personally, I hope that now that I'm a full-time entrepreneur, that I can have 1 or 2 new ventures annually or every 2 years. Yes.
That's exciting. So, in terms of you as a brand, are you going to remain CEO, or you're going to be chairman of the board and apply other people?
I think I enjoy startups. If I was to open up my CV, most of the companies I've worked for were startups. So I'm that guy who likes to wrestle with the pigs in the mud, more than sitting in an office. Yes. So I think I would, when I get this company to where I want it to be, where it can run without my involvement, then I'll definitely take a step back, go start a new venture from scratch. Because I think I enjoy that. As stressful as it is, I think I am more fulfilled when I face challenges on a regular, and when I'm facing those challenges of building up a new venture. Yes.
That sounds very interesting. Okay, now time for you to hit me with a question, if you have one.
Question. I don't know. Maybe just to understand how somebody grows from me to Mr. Mogobe.
I don't think there's a formula.
Yeah.
But obviously one believes that if you are true to your ideals and your values, you can achieve whatever it is that you set your mind to.
Okay.
And rather than bore you with my story, I'm going to get you to be interested in my book, which is about to be released.
Okay.
Before the end of the year, certainly in a few months. Okay. So perhaps you wait and then you learn about it from there. But
all right.
The trick is just to keep growing and to trust the process and to trust in your faith.
Okay.
And then just hope that you have enough partners. Like now I'm partnering with these youngsters.
Yes.
You have enough partners and managers to help you push the dream through. Most of the things that we've achieved now were totally unbelievable 10 years ago.
Yes.
So you just be a dreamer. I'm a little bit like you to say, if it doesn't scare you, it means you are not dreaming big enough. Yeah. So keep yourself getting excited about the future. That's a formula. But the details you'll pick from the book.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we've concluded our conversation. So I want you to leave that young viewer there with something motivational, something, look at that camera there, something inspirational as we conclude our conversation.
Okay. I think my message will be, if you are dreaming, just go out there and get it. Nobody's gonna live your dream for you. You are the only person who can get you to live that dream. And thank you for having me.
Okay, you are most welcome. Share with them all your socials, your contacts on social media, and even your physical address.
Yes. Our social media handles are Expense Official on Facebook, Expense BW on Instagram and on TikTok. We are at plot 14447 Kamushungu Road in US Industrial, between Kalagadi Plastics and Kingsley & Associates in Unit 8.
Okay.
Yes, but we do serve you wherever you are across the country.
Okay, wonderful stuff.
Yeah.
You mentioned all the socials, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, and there's no landline or WhatsApp number?
Our WhatsApp number is 7260-6496.
And landline, no?
No landline.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. You've been a great guest.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.